Hello, everybody. Happy June. It's good to be back. I did miss last month. It was my birthday month though, so let's just pretend that's why I didn't go live in May. Ever since it's been about 2 years now that I've been going live monthly. I am usually behind the scenes of live streaming, and I'm now trying to live stream once a month and kind of share more of me on screen versus being behind the scenes always. So it's been good, a little bit of a good thing for me to be outside of my comfort zone. Hello, good to see you over on YouTube. We are talking about what's going on here. We're talking about 3 tech tools that I love. So, if you've been around here before, you'll know that Streamyard, this is what Streamyard looks like, that I'm using to stream right now. I talk about it often, but I also wanted to share a couple other ones. My team has grown a lot in the past, I don't know, year, even more than that. It's been fun. And I've added more teammates and had to kind of change my business a little bit and do things differently. So I'm going to share a little bit on how I'm managing that using the software that I love called Notion. I'm going to talk about StreamYard and how I use it for really easy content creation for both me and my clients. And then I'm going to talk about Castmagic, which is my latest find. It's an AI tool that I think I can finally, with confidence, say I'm enjoying. Um, so I have had a time block on my calendar to like look into AI tools, and that has been the first one that I've found useful. So I have used it for the past 2 months now, and I think I can officially say I like it. So I will talk about that. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you have any questions as we go through things. Um, I am going to go ahead and get started with the first one that I talked about on LinkedIn. It's Notion. So I talk about this often, but Notion has been a game changer for me and my team's communication. I am what I like to refer to myself as is like a content traffic cop. So I am not producing other people's content, but I am helping them produce content consistently and getting it like in the right place at the right time for the right eyes to see it and kind of like navigating that. So as I've taken on more clients and more teammates helping me, I had to do something different because emails were getting missed and calls, like it just was a lot going on. So I started using Notion, and it's been awesome because in Notion you can create different databases. So we have like a big master to-do list for everybody on my team, and then we will take that to-do list and we'll assign it to different people. And you can create different spaces for the people to see just their to-do list versus like the huge, big master to-do list. So that's kind of how I use it for team communication. It's a lot of, it helps me kind of like separate things into priorities and separate things into who does what. So on our team, we have somebody who's doing video content, we have somebody who's doing email marketing content, and somebody who's helping with the live shows. This mostly it's me. I love to be behind the scenes of live shows and talk with like people, my clients, and then also people who join their shows. That's kind of one of my favorite parts about work. And I'm slowly having to release control on that part because other people on my team, A, need to learn it, want to learn it, and B, we're just growing and I can't always be behind the scenes of every live stream. So as we do that, as we kind of assign different spaces, if you will, to different people, Notion makes it really easy for us to like, okay, Shelb isn't going to do this anymore. Now Natasha's going to do this, and we assign it, um, kind of just switching it. And it's really awesome because it'll keep all of the information and transfer it over seamlessly. The like newest thing that I've done with Notion that I'm very, very excited about is I started creating proposals there. So kind of switching gears so that I use Notion internally for clients approving content and my team getting the content to my clients to approve. And then when I have a potential client, I am actually using Notion now to create a more personalized proposal for them. So I realized that the like cute little PDF that I had created in Canva just wasn't doing it. Every single time I sent it to somebody, they were like, "Well, what about this? What if we switch this out and add this?" And I am notoriously bad for being like, "Yes, like let's do whatever you want to do." Natasha's in the background nodding her head because I'm horrible at that. Jeff will also know that I'm horrible at kind of like tailoring my services. It's been a pain point that he and I have talked to and talked through together. He's helped me kind of conceptualize what I'm doing here and how I'm doing it. So I'm very excited about the Notion system I'm using to do this because overall, it's the same service or offering, but it makes it super easy for me to switch out services. So, for example, some of my clients like to go live on a weekly basis. Other clients of mine like to go live on a monthly basis. But obviously, that requires different levels of work. If we're doing a weekly show, it's wildly different than if we're doing a monthly show. If we're repurposing content from that, it's even more bananas. And so we kind of like, yes, there's this baseline price for these services, but I'm able to kind of give the client a more personalized proposal based on what they need and how often they want to go live and how often they want to repurpose their content. So I'm very excited. It allows me to export a PDF so they still get that nice PDF in their email, and B, it's like publishes its own page to the web so they don't have to have a Notion account to view it. That was my biggest worry about using Notion for this was like I don't want them to have to sign up for a Notion account just to see my proposal. But I figured out a way thanks to lots of Google searches and asking people to like publish the page. So I just send them a URL and they can view it. So it's been good. I am slowly figuring it out. Thank you, Jeff, for being here through the painful growth that I've been experiencing. But it's good. It's been good growth. So and yes, I'm very excited about how flexible and personal it will be. Um, it's just who I am as a person to want to make it more like personalized. I kept trying to make everything fit in boxes that I don't know, just it didn't work. So I'm excited for that. That's my latest Notion thing. Notion can be overwhelming. I'm going to give that disclaimer when you first get into Notion. There is a lot to it. So what I would recommend is like baby steps. Use it as a to-do list and then slowly use it as like a database to keep track of things because like for our work it's really awesome to link like Google Drives and Google Sheets and Dropbox files all in one place so you don't have a million tabs open. So that's kind of how I first started was like a simple to-do list. Then I did like a simple place to track information. And then now it's just kind of grown into more customizing it more for my business. And it's honestly become a great hub for me to have all of the things in one place. I love it. I think there is a free version, if I'm remembering. You do have to, like the more blocks you use, is how it's kind of confusing how they price it, in my opinion. The more members you have and the blocks of information you use contribute to how much it costs, which is kind of confusing to me. And that's my biggest gripe with Notion is I'm like, I was confused on how like what to expect pricing wise now that I have my system set up and the people that I need to be members and the people I need to be guests, I'm able to like it's predictable. But the pricing was kind of funky at the beginning of it. So that is how I am using Notion. The second streaming software, the second software that I'm using and I have used for a long, long time is Streamyard. It's for live streaming, making a live stream look professional and, do the things, go to the places how you want it to go, um, which is like first and foremost what it was created for. Now it has grown. So I started using StreamYard back in 2019. I remember it was like right before the pandemic. Kim was like, "Hey, let's try going live on LinkedIn." And I was like, "Okay, how do we do that?" And StreamYard was the tool that we decided to use. There's other options like Restream. I know, oh, what is the name of that one? There's one that people Riverside is another one that people really love, but is a little bit less user friendly, has a lot of really cool bells and whistles and things. But StreamYard was where we landed for easy content creation for an easy live show. We thought we would only use it for live streaming. But as my business has grown, it's actually kind of grown as well over the past couple years, and it's super awesome to be used for like some other features like repurposing your content after you're live. So I actually just started using it for YouTube streams, or not YouTube streams, YouTube videos. So LaShonda Brown she's like the YouTube queen, and I have been following her and I'm a part of her membership. And she talked about using StreamYard for just straight videos. I don't know why this had never occurred to me, but she's like, just record a full YouTube video in your StreamYard studio. So she has a option to like create fun intro outros, which I've done now thanks to her videos and like her tutorials that she has, where it's like a fun intro like you would see on a YouTube video, you talk, and then a fun outro like you would see on YouTube. So literally all of that could be done in a YouTube recording studio where you're not having to edit the content, which I was like very, very excited about, because for some reason I hadn't thought of the YouTube intro and outro as an option in StreamYard. I've done like intro videos that count down for your live stream, but I hadn't done one where it's like welcoming you to the channel or asking you to subscribe or things like that. So I was excited for that for YouTube creation, which I'm trying to focus more on. I mostly stream to LinkedIn, is kind of like my space. And I'm now trying to do more on YouTube because several clients of mine have started YouTube channels that are doing really well, and I'm very excited about. And so I've been learning more about YouTube, and now I'm trying to figure out how it makes sense for me in my content creation. So I'm excited that StreamYard will kind of help with that. The other thing that they have started doing in StreamYard is an entire transcript of the conversation is automatically populated after you're live, which is super helpful. Before, I can't remember. I know we tried Descript and I want to say Otter, maybe. Yeah. Those were the two tools that I was using where I would download the StreamYard MP4 and I would put into one of those tools to give me a transcript. Now there's like 5 bajillion options with AI, but I was excited that StreamYard had an actual, like, it's just already built into StreamYard. So I don't have to do any more of that downloading, uploading thing. Um, so that's how I'm using that for like going back in the transcript and reading things through or finding portions of the conversation that I like. You can also repurpose to shorter videos here in StreamYard where you just go into a past studio, past stream, and you can kind of cut it to where it makes sense. And you can actually post directly to your spaces like LinkedIn or YouTube from StreamYard as well. So it makes it just really, really easy to produce content consistently. For me, Shelby, I don't prioritize my own content the way that I should. I do a lot of other people's content all day long, and I kind of just get burnt out by the time that it's time for me to be doing the content. So having a system that's like kind of the same across all of our clients, the StreamYard studio, just looking the same, is helpful for me to start producing more consistent content. Jeff is asking me, do you think there will be growth for business influencers on YouTube? So I'm like super duper excited about YouTube right now, because Yes, Jeff, I think that YouTube is going to be huge in the next little bit. They are prioritizing their shorts and reels in like the TikTok type format. Same way I know LinkedIn is like slowly rolling out a same video feature, scrolly TikTok look as well in their app. And YouTube is also doing that with their shorts and reels. And right now, if you are doing YouTube and you're posting reels, you get, I don't know how all of the math works with their like, you have to have so many hours and then you have to have so many subscribers to get monetized. But they are heavily weighing the shorts and reels format for that monetization. So YouTube itself is paying creators a lot better than other places. And so I think we're going to see like a huge influx of creators there. Um, and yes, Natasha's saying, so nice to have all the features in one place instead of needing to have tons of tools because I have gotten myself in traps where I have like a bajillion tools for things that are like, oh, you can come over here for the transcript and over here for the video editing and over here for the posting schedule and all of that. And it gets very like confusing and frustrating. And so as technology is kind of advancing and people are implementing AI in different places, it's becoming much easier. So that's why I am actually trying to hold pretty steady to only having a handful of tools. And these are three of them that I am 100% in on. So I have an entire Google Sheet of tools that I've tried and that I probably need to cancel subscriptions on. So that's a me problem. But and yes, Jeff, I would say now is the time to start producing YouTube content and get things out there because like every social media tool, they pay creators really well at the beginning and then it kind of trickles down. So I know we saw that with TikTok, and Instagram is notorious for this, where they had like a big push for people to do reels and now they just don't really care. So um, I'm not saying YouTube's going to do that, but I am saying I, Shelby, am trying to get in when like in the earlier stages of YouTube because I think it's been great for long form content for a long time. And now they have YouTube podcasts and they have this real short repurposing function. And the cool thing about YouTube, which is also cool about LinkedIn, is when you Google search that's the social media that it's pulling from, LinkedIn and YouTube. That is kind of why I kind of stay in that space with the content creators that I work with, is because things on like Instagram and Facebook are not going to populate when you Google things, but content on YouTube and LinkedIn will, which is why I think it's a great choice. So, Notion for team communication, proposals, Streamyard for easy content creation, and Castmagic is the third tool I'll talk about, which is great for repurposing your content. It is the big buzzword AI tool that I'm using right now. I have been frustrated with AI. I have watched a million people try to tell me how to use AI, and some of them I don't think they know what they're talking about. Others I think they know what they're talking about, and I'm just like, I'm back here. Like I need like easy 101 AI. I don't need like the most AI. So I've had a hard time finding a tool that I trust and a tool that makes sense for my business. So Castmagic is the hopeful one. I've been using it consistently for 2 months, and I'm using it for things like um, show notes for podcasts or live streams, and blog posts, and timestamps, which kind of goes with show notes. And I'm trying to get it to work for things like carousels and thing like short threads, like Twitter threads, even that kind of idea. And it's not quite there yet for me because you have to prompt it well, like any AI, obviously. But the thing that I'm loving about Castmagic is that all of the AI prompts stay prompted. Okay, I don't know how to explain that. Like, so when you go in there, you set up a space and then you set up exactly what you want for that space. So each of my clients obviously talks different, has a different style. And the hardest thing for me as I've been growing my business is helping my team kind of lean into like different voices. Um, because I know the client, I usually meet with the clients a lot and kind of get feedback and all of those things. And I wanted to find a tool where I could kind of like take that and create more of a like personalized, again, that's kind of my thing, I guess, personalized client experience for them. But I also can't be drafting content as often as I have in the past. So I am putting prompts that have been approved and have been wonderful. That have worked before with other pieces of content, and I'm putting it into Castmagic. So it's cool. It has different options for spaces and different options for content types, and it all kind of lives there. So that when my team comes into Castmagic, they don't have to prompt it. The prompt is already there, and it's already spitting out the content that we want. For example, show notes and blog posts. I will say, like any AI, it is still early and I'm still having to edit often. Um, I'm hopeful that as we like keep training it, it'll kind of get more right than wrong. But right now it is still a lot of me editing, but at least I have somewhere to start from and somewhere for my team to pull from. And then we go in there together and we're like, okay, for example, something I hate about AI right now is if you just use like good old regular ChatGPT or other things, they have a cadence and they have words that they use always. Like, it seems like if you want them to say, you highlight it and you say, rewrite this in a LinkedIn post, it always says, like, dive into this very exciting, inspiring conversation. And it has like very filler words that work for people. Like some voices have filler words and that works great. A lot of my clients are like short, punchy, different. They don't sound AI. I work with really fun people and I love them and they're not easily mimicked and they're not easily like copied. So let alone Shelby, cannot copy their voice. AI definitely is not going to copy their voice. And most of the time, my client ends up rewriting it anyway. But giving them somewhere to start is important. But AI is not quite there to give them the starting place, but it's almost like AI gives me the starting place to give them the starting place. And yes, this is all like very meta, like weird, but it is helping some. And Castmagic has been great that way. The biggest thing about AI or about Castmagic for me is how what's the word, like customer service, like they're very involved with your success. I got on a Zoom with, I believe, can't remember what he called himself, but he was awesome. His name was Greg, and he helped everybody that was on the call, which there was 4 of us, so it wasn't like it was like this huge Zoom call. It was very personalized, and he helped each of us kind of run through how to set up our space and how to make it work for us. And I'm probably going to join another one of those like office hours with him as I continue to kind of refine my space, because when I joined that first one, I was like, I don't even know where to start. And now I'm like, okay, here are the things I'm liking, here are the things I'm not. And he helped others on the call kind of figure that out, which is huge right now because I have tried so many tools, been so frustrated, and been just felt like, it feels like you're talking with robots because it's the AI, and having like an actual face to help me kind of work through my pain points with the software was huge. And now I'm a part of a Slack channel where I'm able to ask questions and I'm getting like prompts that work for other people, and kind of like it's a much more community driven AI space than anywhere else that I have found thus far. So um let's see, AI is supposed to give us creative content, not trite businessy terms. Exactly. I do think that AI for me right now is more of a help me make this shorter or help me make this longer. It's not quite like write this thing. It's more of like, okay, here's my idea. Can you help me make it sound better? And with this Castmagic tool, where I'm able to say, hey, don't use words like delve or super exciting, something, something like I'm able to kind of prompt it in a more personal way, and it's saving that prompt, so I'm not having to, like, copy and paste a prompt, that I've saved, like, for example, with ChatGPT, I had, like, a whole Notion space where I had created, like, what prompts, I had used with other content, and I would have to, like, go to prompts space, copy, paste it into ChatGPT, and honestly, a lot of times it would give me something wild, and I was like, "Okay, wait, that wasn't even close." So, I love that Castmagic is saving that for me there in the spaces that it needs to be saved, under the client voice that I need it to be saved, and then I can kind of refine that prompt versus copy and pasting or changing. And so it's been very helpful that way. And it also has an option for video editing in there. It has an option to pull parts of the conversation that it thinks is interesting. I sometimes disagree with it on that, but it's trying, and I appreciate that. And I'm curious to see if that will also kind of get uh, more like it'll get better as we kind of prompt it more. So it's a tool I'm excited about because it's allowing my team to all kind of have the same thinking space voice wise and helping us all stay on track with what type of content we're repurposing. And yeah, I'll keep you posted on whether or not it stands the test of time. But for now, A plus for customer service, A plus for keeping track of voice, and probably like a B, C for the actual like AI content that it's spitting out. But I do think I'm a little picky on that, so I'll give it a couple more months maybe. So let's see. Jeff says these are all tools you'll be using with new clients moving forward. Yes. So this is both my team internally has access to these tools, and Castmagic also has a really cool space where you can share the tool with the client. So some of my clients are probably interested in that, and I know others probably that would just be overwhelming. And so I'm just sharing that as makes sense. But I am very excited about those tools. So thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with me. These tools I actually use in my everyday business life, and I'm finding them very useful and helpful. I try very hard to only share tools that actually make sense and are actually working for me. Like I said, I've been looking into AI tools for months that I have hated, and I've not shared with you because you don't need to hear about things that I don't actually use. I'm trying very hard to make sure that these are like applicable to everybody that's kind of in my space and doing similar things. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if there's tools that you are liking that make sense for what you're doing. And I would love, I have my big database of tools that I'm enjoying, but I would love to add more there. I'm testing different ones all the time. So anyways, thank you so much. Appreciate you spending time with me, and I hope to see you next month.